So we've turned down millions and we're happy with that.
I could now fully retire and just sit on a beach somewhere and drink pina colada.
Did you know that crypto YouTubers can earn over $100,000 per month in a bull market from ad revenue alone? Add affiliate marketing and sponsorships, and the numbers climb even higher. But it's not all easy money.
But when the bear market comes, your income can come down about 90% or more.
To be honest, my biggest anxiety is that one day my channel's not going to be there and there's no one to talk to.
Watch further in this video as we explore the top crypto YouTubers with millions of followers and years of experience in the game. We'll uncover the secrets behind how they turn their passion for crypto into a steady income, the hurdles they face, and the strategies that keep them thriving.
As a creator, you have a lot of flexibility in how you make money. YouTube opens it up a lot. You have your ability to make AdSense, which fluctuates quite a bit within the market. So CPMs tend to rise when crypto is going up because everyone wants to advertise on crypto YouTube videos. It's a lot of exchanges, a lot of retirement funds, big companies. They want to chase after that. So I've seen CPMs rise a ton in the previous bull cycles, but when the bear market comes, your income can come down about 90% or more. It's not stable at all. So when the good times are good, a lot of new creators will be like, oh, it's gonna be like this forever. It's gonna be great. And they keep doing it. But I've been doing this about 8 years now. It goes up, it goes down. You have to learn to take the average of the quarters too. Quarter, months, years, not just look at it very short term. Yeah, AdSense is not really sustainable, to be honest. It's not reliable.
Then it comes down to actual advertising and sponsorships. Now remember, people on YouTube don't really like being interrupted by an ad. In fact, what you realize is if you do place an ad, the viewers will drop off and that'll be the end of your stream, so to speak. So you got to be really, really, really smart in how you integrate sponsored content into your content while telling people that it's sponsored and still getting them to want to watch it.
The other one is affiliates. So affiliates, I think, is the best model because if the company that's working with you, they win and they make money, you're also just getting a piece of that. So instead of you getting paid a sponsorship deal where they say, hey, mention it, we'll pay you X amount. If you do an affiliate and it's a good company, I think that's great because it's win-win-win. I think of it as a triangle. So you have your viewers that get good value from the product or the exchange or whatever you're promoting. The company gets good users, like they're able to get their service in front of the right audience, and then you make a kickback off of that. As a creator, if you're able to do that and exponentially grow, then you have more of a sustainable income.
Selling your own products, right? Yep, so we have a newsletter. So we have a free newsletter, but also a premium version of that newsletter, which goes much more in depth with like a weekly deep dive on an altcoin and a DeFi tutorial and things like this. We also sell our own courses. So we have beginners courses for, getting into crypto and trying to understand what crypto is and crypto narratives and how do you get on chain and stuff like that. So it's 3 or 4 hour video courses. So really in depth.
And we're also diversifying across other YouTube channels. So it's not just our main channel. We've got a smaller, more Cointelegraph channel, which is different kinds of content. We've started a trading channel. We've also now expanded out beyond just the English market, right? We've got numerous other channels in other languages. So we've got a Spanish channel, which has just broken over 100,000 subscribers. We've got a South Asia channel. We're launching a Mandarin channel. So it's important to diversify, not just from YouTube itself, but different channels within YouTube as well, different markets, and just make yourself resilient. So it's mainly focused on YouTube right now because that's the algorithms we understand, but we also want to try and crack the short form content nut, right? So that's why we're doing stuff on TikTok. So don't only put everything on YouTube. Don't only be on Twitter or on or on Instagram. You need to diversify across platforms because you never know which one of these will play funny with you.
Speaking fees is another one. When you're able to be a professional in whatever topic, you know what you're talking about. A lot of times brands will fly you out. They'll say, hey, speak on here. You can give a big premium. You can do consulting. So you can offer some of these brands different amounts of packages. But those are the main ones. A lot of times people want to have 20 different income streams. That was very popular like 3 years ago. But if you do that, you can't focus on one. So I say have 3 at most. And even if you just do AdSense, affiliate, and a business model, like reoccurring revenue coming in, I think that's good enough for anyone to sustain and possibly do it even full time.
While many crypto content creators on YouTube have built massive followings by sharing their insights and predictions, they've also come under scrutiny for promoting high-risk or unverified projects. In 2023 alone, crypto fraud losses in the US surged by 45%, reaching $5.6 billion, with many attributed to misleading content and influencer endorsements. This has raised serious concerns about the responsibility influencers hold when promoting products or projects. But how much blame do YouTubers really deserve? And do they truly deserve the criticism for promoting scam projects? Let's hear what the creators have to say.
I think a lot of people promote projects because they are paid to promote projects. Okay, we don't do that. You can buy a sponsorship slot. We will only allow you to be a sponsor if we like what you're doing, but we will always declare that, hey, this company has paid us. This company has paid us and they are sponsored. We always put a sponsor link at the bottom. So, and sometimes people promote projects because they are invested. When we do that, we have a code of conduct that actually says you have to say I'm invested. You have to be completely genuine about it.
There's been many people who have had their reputations destroyed because of that, right? And if that's their goal, I'm not here to basically cast aspersions at anyone's particular business model or what they want to do, right? It's their audience to do with what they want, and their audience chooses to follow them and get that advice. It's up to them. What we care about is our audience and our community. And we obviously, yes, we want to make sure that crypto people don't associate the cryptocurrency space with rug pulls, with like, shills and all that. We want them to associate it with and learn about why it's such an important and transformative technology. That's what we're trying to do. Because you can't onboard millions of people and millions and billions of people in terms of mass adoption into cryptocurrency if the first association they have with it is they were rugged on some project, right?
The reality is if you invest in a lot of altcoins, some of them are going to go to zero. And it's a frustrating thing. See, I do a lot of venture round investing, right? And so I'll talk about things that I invest in. And it's a tricky thing because I put my money on the table, right? As I get into the venture round, whatever it might be. And I then have no control over what happens next. It's not under my control if the team decides to pull liquidity, or if the team decides to not deliver on their tech, or if there's some kind of hack on the platform. All these things are out of the content creator's control. And it's a minefield working in the industry, doing sponsored content, or even doing venture round investing with some of these startup companies, because they are startup companies. And that's the thing to remember, that the failure rate can be very, very high for these startup companies. And even coins that come out and have initial success financially, it doesn't mean that long term they're going to make it. And that's a tricky area to navigate. And
you have to do your research, right? You have to see what have they talked about, what investments do they have. Most of them are doing stuff on the back end, but there are still good YouTubers out there. It's just, I never want to put a blanket statement. All of them are bad. They're all scammers, but crypto YouTube, I think, is still doing a good job when you're focusing on education and you're really just trying to help people to learn more about the market, rather than, hey, this is the coin that's going to do 100x, buy it now. And it does go up, maybe for a short bit, but ultimately if the track record is, hey, this YouTuber's been around for a few years, everything he's talked about has only gone down, then you got to make the decision like, okay, maybe I shouldn't watch them as much anymore. You don't have to trust the creator or whatever. I think at the end of the day, everyone should still be doing their own research, their own due diligence. And I just mention that all the time in almost every video. If I script a video out, I'll always try and put notes like, hey, remember to tell the audience, be careful about this. Don't put too much money in this, or tell them like, hey, you got to just be very careful and really take care of yourself, because this market can definitely be brutal.
Sometimes, when faced with six-figure offers, crypto YouTubers must grapple with a critical question. How do they navigate the ethical complexities of choosing which projects to promote or avoid? In fact, nearly 70% admit to being offered payments to endorse projects they weren't fully convinced about. Balancing lucrative opportunities with their responsibility to their audience demands a careful balance of integrity and scrutiny. One misstep could damage their reputation and mislead thousands of followers.
So I have a legal team that does due diligence on all the projects and investments I do. First of all, I don't promote like sponsorships. In my 2,000 videos I did, I don't think I even made 5 sponsorships, because there's, first of all, too many scams, and also I don't think it's worth the money to promote the projects, because there's just so many risks involved with that, So when I promote something, I want to know that I can 100% stand by it. But when I invest, we also do due diligence with my legal team. And I can tell you right now that 80% of everything we get in doesn't pass even the first test, It's a lot of scams, a lot of shady background with some people, and yeah, the due diligence we do is very strict actually. And even if they pass the first line, we ask them for the company setup, like all the licenses they have. We ask things that literally nobody asks, but it's because we've had history with bad actors, and we want to make sure that we're fully on the safe side.
I'm sure that they'll be up there 6 figs easy. There's some of them that usually come with 6-figure offers. They'll give you token allocations for your project like early on, but usually this comes with an implied, a deliverable in terms of content. And we've worked with projects to a certain degree that we've invested in projects, and we do invest in these rounds. But what we very intently clear and focused on is that we're not here to show your token. We're not here to meet deliverable X or Y. We're here as a long-term partnership because we believe in your project, but we also believe that it's going to be beneficial to our audience to learn about it in some way. We want to meet 3 stakeholders that are happy: us, the partner, and the viewers and users. And if you can have all the 3 of those happy at the same time, that's magical, right? But the problem is, too many people, I think, focus on this like, okay, how can I either make myself happy or the exchange, and they don't think about the users, right? Or the other way around, when you're not making any sort of money. So you have to strike a very fine balance. But for us, our perspective is the long-term value of our users and the long-term value of our trusted community is way more important to us than any sort of X amount of money we can make in a particular cycle. So we've turned down millions, and we're happy with that.
You just have to learn to say no to things, which can be hard sometimes, especially if you're a smaller creator, and that payday makes a big difference for you, right? But you got to learn to be able to say no to some of these things, because if you get it wrong, you'll take big reputational hits.
Creators also face demonetization and algorithm changes that can suddenly lower their income and visibility. Relying solely on YouTube for revenue comes with several risks. Those include channel bans. Over 3.26 million channels were removed in the second quarter of 2024 alone.
I mean, as a crypto content creator, the first problem you have is YouTube. And that is that you wake up every morning and you just look at your phone and make sure your channel's still there. Because, you're dealing with an organization that has so much power. And it's really the only place. I mean, Twitter's great, but you can't have the same business that we have on YouTube. You can't have that business on Twitter. To be honest, my biggest anxiety is that one day my channel's not going to be there and there's no one to talk to. Like, if your channel gets removed, no one to talk to. I mean, you can try and lodge an appeal, and that might take a week or 3 weeks, or some people I know that never got their channels back. And so you might have to start again. We've been building this channel for years. Honestly, my biggest risk in my life is the channel being banned. And sometimes the channel can get banned for nothing, for like, you showed a website, at the top of the website there was a casino banner, and then the YouTube algorithm says, oh, casino, gambling, strike.
Like in terms of YouTube monetization, maybe it's a little bit harder because YouTube may not necessarily like crypto, because they sometimes may associate it with scams, especially because there's a lot of scams out there in crypto space.
Don't get the same distribution as more family-rated content. I think we fall into the financial advice, medical advice. We fall into much more niche content, which means that you have to look for it before it comes to find you. But yeah, I think my biggest concern is that we only have one platform we can work with, and that's YouTube. And they have total control, and there's nothing you can do if you lose your channel.
Maybe the biggest problem that I see right now is it's a little bit too easy for some influencers to create meme coins and promote them to their audience and then sell those coins. I've seen that, and I really think it's a bad practice. It's not going to be easy to get rid of that. I think people will always do things when they're greedy. Hopefully they learn from their mistakes.
I think for the crypto content creator is to really just focus on authenticity and transparency with your audience. And that's one of the biggest problems I see probably in the crypto content creation space, is really a lack of that. And as somebody who didn't take it seriously enough 5 years ago, to really just say to anybody who is creating content in the cryptocurrency space, take it more seriously, right? Make sure that your audience always knows where you stand, right? If you're invested in something, let them know you're invested in it. If you're doing a sponsored post, tell people you're doing a sponsored post. And that's probably one of the biggest challenges I see with a lot of crypto content creators, is that it's either negligence or sometimes scamming, but I think most people are probably not going down the scam route. I think there's negligence or almost a fear of being judged by their audience, because at the end of the day, you're a regular person. We are regular people, you know, we have big audiences and stuff like that, but you're a regular person, and when you see people criticizing and attacking you, it does affect you, right? And so people want to try to avoid that and not be, oh, you're a sellout because you took money for this or whatever. And so people have those sort of problems. And so if you're a crypto content creator, you got to have a little thicker skin. You got to stand up to that and say, okay, this is what I do. This is my affiliate partner. We're doing a sponsored post for these guys. I own these coins that we're talking about today. And just to tell people that. And it actually builds more trust and transparency with your audiences, and is more authentic for you to be having that conversation with your audience.
If you're considering setting up a crypto YouTube channel, keep in mind that it's a highly competitive space. There are over 110 million YouTube channels out there, and less than 2% of them have reached 10,000 subscribers. With such saturation, standing out requires unique content that fills a gap in the market.
A lot of people get so googly-eyed about the immediate bag in front of them. And I'm like, if you just have an audience, you're gonna have a money printer for life if that's what your drive is. For me, that's not even the main goal. I think just finding fulfillment and being purposeful in providing value and helping others is a lot more sustainable. Because if you're driven by money, once you make the money, you're pretty much done. That's why we've been able to go like as long as we have after making even millions of dollars. If someone's trying to get into the crypto space, just know that there is a big opportunity, like I mentioned earlier, when there are problems. So the problem is you don't have much credibility. You have a lot of people who are selling out, and also you have AI that's not making authentic content. So just being yourself, being honest, putting in the work. If you don't know much about the market, tell the audience, hey, I just got into the market like a year ago. I don't know much about it, but for the very few wins that I have, here are them. You can follow me if you want. You can walk with me on the journey. I think that humanizes you more, and that gives you an advantage in this very saturated space. So just be transparent, be honest. That's it.
Don't feel ashamed to reach out to other creators who are slightly bigger than you, because everyone wants to help. Exactly. So we've launched other channels, and we've now got a new BD and COO, Rahim, and you guys can reach out to him if you're watching this video. And we want to try and uplift other creators as well, because as long as you share our passion for cryptocurrency and you're aligned with us in terms of our ethics, we want to hear from you and we want to include you in our journey.